Imagine cars that practically scrape the track like belly dancers on the asphalt. This isn't some wild street custom, but a thrilling chapter from NASCAR's past that had drivers gripping their steering wheels and fans on the edge of their seats. But here's where it gets controversial. Was this lowrider tactic a genius innovation or a dangerous cheat that stole the soul of racing? Dive in as we unpack the dramatic tale of how 1990s qualifying at Daytona and Talladega turned standard stock cars into ground-hugging beasts, shaking up the sport in ways that still echo today. When folks hear lowriders, they typically picture flashy rides with hydraulics making the chassis hover just inches from the pavement. Yet, in the wild world of NASCAR during the 90s, the term took on a whole new meaning at the colossal superspeedways of Daytona and Talladega. Here, during qualifying sessions, teams engineered their cars to dip dramatically at the rear, creating what insiders dubbed the lowrider effect. Far more extreme than any street-style mod. Legendary crew chief Ray Evernham, a three-time Cup champion, chimed in on a viral tweet featuring a photo of the pole-winning car he prepared for Jeff Gordon back in the 1999 Daytona 500. He explained that with zero regulations from NASCAR at the time, the car's rear rake could plunge a whopping 7 inches lower than the front. "We weren't breaking any rules because there weren't any," Evernham noted, highlighting how this lack of oversight fueled creative and risky engineering. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the beloved son of racing royalty, also jumped into the conversation, replying to the same image. He recalled how teams bent the frame rails at outrageous angles to push the cars even closer to the ground. "We pushed the limits to make them hug the track tighter than ever," Jr. shared, painting a picture of innovation born from necessity and a dash of daring. One master of this art was veteran crew chief and broadcaster Larry McReynolds, who perfected the lowrider setup using specially altered shock absorbers. "We're clamping down so fiercely that drivers' voices tremble on the radio," McReynolds reminisced in a recent NASCAR History YouTube video. "They struggle to check the dashboard gauges because the car's jolting around like a rodeo bull. You'd think something this punishing couldn't be speedy, but the tougher the ride, the quicker it zooms." This is the part most people miss. The lowrider wasn't just about looks. It was a calculated strategy where discomfort bred speed, turning pain into performance gains. The concept even spawned some hilarious yet spot-on anecdotes that capture the era's spirit. Former crew chief and NASCAR executive Robin Pemberton, who later worked with Jeff Burton, shared a story about their super-duper double-down driver killers, shocks so intense they lived up to their nickname. "Whenever our times at Daytona or Talladega lagged, we'd slap these on and watch the magic happen," Pemberton laughed, illustrating how teams gambled on gear to stay competitive. NASCAR toyed with banning these wild shocks, but enforcing it proved a nightmare. Imagine inspectors unscrewing and dissecting each shock from every car. That logistical headache led the sanctioning body to scrap the ban, letting the low-rider phenomenon persist. And this is where controversy brews. Did NASCAR's leniency encourage innovation, or did it allow unfair advantages that skewed the field? Pairing these shocks with ultra-soft rear springs amplified the drama, especially the no-rebound type, which stayed compressed without bouncing back right away, often made cars look like they were dragging their tailpipes or carrying extra weight in the trunk. But here's the kicker. As soon as the car left the pits, the springs and shocks would snap into perfect alignment, popping up like a jack-in-the-box. You'd shout, "Watch, watch, watch," and boom, it transformed, Pemberton recounted with glee. This optical illusion not only confused onlookers, but also symbolized the tricks teams used to deceive and dominate. Sadly, this era of shock freedom ended after the 2000 Daytona 500, when NASCAR standardized the setup by providing identical shocks to all teams, aiming to create a level playing field. But not everyone cheered this change, far from it. But here's where opinions diverge sharply. Was this catch-22 move a step toward fairness, or did it strip away the artistry that made racing exciting? The intimidator himself, Dale Earnhardt, grumbled that the new rules ruined the event. "This is the lamest Daytona racing I've witnessed in ages," he declared. "They've robbed drivers and crews of their edge, turning Winston Cup into a snooze fest. If Bill France Sr. saw this, he'd be spinning in his grave." Earnhardt's words struck a chord, as the 2000 race saw a pitiful 9 lead changes, earning it a spot on lists of the most dull Daytona 500s. Fans flooded forums with complaints, calling it a betrayal of the sport's high-speed heart. The standardized shocks stuck around for another 17 years until 2018, when NASCAR phased out rear shock rules entirely. The Rakes weren't as drastic as in the 90s. The evolution showed how the sport adapted, yet this raises a debate. Did the Lowriders' demise improve safety and equality, or did it eliminate the edge-of-your-seat thrill that hooked generations? As we reflect on this Lowrider saga, one can't help but ponder, should racing prioritize creative engineering over strict safety and parity? Is the intimidator right that rule changes can kill the soul of the sport, or do they save it from chaos? Do you miss the wild innovation of the 90s, or do you prefer today's more regulated races? Share your takes in the comments. Do you agree with Earnhardt's fiery critique, or think NASCAR did the right thing? Let's discuss. About the author, Jerry Bonkowski, a seasoned sports journalist with stints at giants like USA Today, where he logged 15 years, ESPN.com, over 4 years, Yahoo Sports, 4.5 years, and NBCSports.com, 8 years, has chronicled nearly every major sport imaginable. He's delved into the Chicago Bulls' 6 NBA titles, heavily covering Michael Jordan's era, the Bears' Super Bowl X victory, World Series wins for the White Sox and Cubs, 2 Blackhawks NHL championships, and even Tiger Woods' PGA Tour beginnings. His beat reporting spanned NFL, MLB, NHL, and NBA for USA Today. But motorsports hold a special place: NASCAR, IndyCar, NHRA drag racing, and Formula One, ignited by childhood trips to drag strips like Indiana's US 30 drag strip. Jerry's covered countless races and penned Trading Paint 101 Great NASCAR Debates in 2010, with more books in the works. Off the track, he's a part-time cop veteran, 20 years, loves 80s and 90s rock, T-boards music, fast drives, and family time with his wife Cindy, nearly 40 years, bear 3 grown kids, 3 grandkids, and counting, and 3 dogs. A pair of German Shepherds, and a bulldog who fancies himself one. Journalism still thrills him like his first byline at 15, and he's eager for more stories on thesportsrush.com and reader chats.